Hello, my Zentangle friends. This is Barbara Langston, CZT, Certified Zentangle Teacher, and I hope you're having a great day. It is Sunday for me. I'm in the Houston-Galveston area, and the weather has been just gorgeous. And I've really enjoyed the morning, being outside, plus playing with some Zentangle stuff. Um, I also want to remember to start with gratitude and appreciation. I'm very grateful for Zentangle and the positive change it has made in my life. Um, Grateful for the Zentangle community and the things that I learn from other people. One of my favorite people to watch is Annika Gobrovich. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right. She's a certified Zentangle teacher in Croatia, and she does just some beautiful stuff. And one of the things I had seen recently were tiles that she colored with Ecoline watercolors. They're liquid watercolors. And so I did some playing around with that this morning. And these colors don't look as good on the screen as they do here in person. This looks like purple giraffe skin and some little spots and different colors. And this one is actually more muted in person. But I think the one that I'm going to use today is this one. And I did videotape myself doing that. I'm not sure how well it's going to come out, whether or not it'll end up on my YouTube channel, but we'll see. Hopefully it will. All right. I'm going to try to stay on screen today. And the pattern I want to teach you is this one. It's called Zejo or Zajo by Isabel Wallis. And this is my practice session in my sketchbook. And it's really not all that hard to do. And there's a couple of variations that we can do on that. And then I'm not sure what I'll put on there after we do that ribbon, but I'm just going to show you as we go. Let's go ahead and do our corner dots. I'm going to do it with my pen because I didn't get my graphite pencil out. See, I put this square on here so that I would stay. I need to remember to do it. I got all the pipes, the plumbing in my house replaced. And that was a big job, but I feel better that if we have some freezes in the future, then I'm not going to lose everything that I have. Because the pipes were really old. Okay, I'm going to start by making just kind of a little bit of a wavy ribbon or line. This is going to become a ribbon that goes from one corner to the next. And then I'm going to echo that. Let's see, I'm going to go on this side of it because I kind of want to go to that corner. So I'm going to show you the two ways that you can do this. And I'm just going to divide that way. Okay, and now we're going to do the ribbon. And I'm going to show you this one first. And you actually start, by the way, this is one of the newer patterns that just came out on tanglepatterns.com. So we're going to do like a teardrop shape that comes down, goes up, and then we're going to move over a little bit. And then we're going to do one that comes down, and we're going to repeat that, trying to keep about that much distance. It's hard for me to get the spacing just right. We'll see how this does. Okay, I'm going to turn it. And if the spacing isn't right, I may have to start over. Okay, so for each of these, we've gone hopefully a little bit past center. This is a forgiving pattern, thankfully. I like forgiving patterns. Now we're going to do a line that goes kind of wavy over the top of each of these. Okay. And now we're going to do some petals that come off the side of each of these. Come this direction now. Excuse me. Do the same thing over here. I'm not looking for a particular number of petals, but also don't want a huge amount of space in between. Like I'm going to have a lot of space between those two. We'll see how that works out because we're going to ink that in. So you're just going to continue making these petals on each side of these teardrops. And each time you come up, you're going to touch that part of the line that we drew. Okay, and we're going to pretend that there's one over here. And it's coming around. Okay. I'm going to turn it. And do the same thing on this side. I recently tried adding color to one of my tiles that I did. I did a lot of flowery botanical type patterns and then went back over it and added color, and I just don't really enjoy doing it. It stresses me out more than makes me happy. So I'm back to coloring my tiles. Okay. So next we're going to fill in the space that's left behind. I'm using, by the way, I'm using Micron PN. I tend to just jump right into what I'm doing. Sometimes I get organized ahead of time, and many times I don't. Sorry about that. Okay, so just a little at a time, fill these in. And I also have a graphic one, or if you have a brush pen, that can help you fill in things a little bit more quickly. But it does not have a fine tip. So what I'll do is use this to get this main part filled in so that you don't have to keep watching me. And then I'll go back with another pen and color in the details. I like using a graphic one when I have a lot of space like this. And you can see I don't have all these teardrops and petals and everything the same size. It doesn't matter. This is a fun and forgiving pattern. It makes a really nice ribbon. By the way, this is a 4-inch tile. It happens to be my favorite size because of the scrapbook photo album that I have. Okay. So now I'm just going to go over some of these little spaces real quick. And it shows up more on the big screen because it's magnified. Okay. So I'm going to do the same thing on this side and try to make my spacing a little bit better. And I'm not going to try to make these line up because that's not my goal. Although it may be kind of opposite. Let's see. By the way, if I happen to get the watercolor video up there, I am not trained in watercolors. I just play around with it and hope for the best. But I really like something like this that has just a muted color background behind it. Okay, so now we've done our little teardrops on each side. And now we're going to come with this line that just touches the tops of each one of these and curves slowly around. Try not to make sharp looking edges. Okay. And I think probably when you watched on the first part, sometimes I tend to do this and bring a petal up and around from the bottom. So that's just how I make petals. Or you can just come from the top like that. Go back up to the top, come around. Whatever you're most comfortable with. I think mine look more consistent as far as petal size when I do it that way. Okay. Just keep going. And the tile that I'm doing today, I've not done before. So I'm hoping this is going to look good. I had been practicing, excuse me, on a pattern called Awhinging. I'll have to put that on the screen. Awhinging, and it's by Phylis, Chen. And I just could not get the center part of that pattern to work. And I'm sorry, this isn't looking super. I was trying to look at another tile while I was doing that. That's not necessarily the best thing to do. Attention. And I've seen where several people have done this pattern and it looks really pretty. And it's one of those that I'll have to practice and then it'll look better. Okay. So what we're going to do on this one is just ink in the center petal. And I have also seen where people add little fescues inside these petals. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to add that with this darkening. I don't think it would look right. Switch into my graphite. And you can make these petals fatter than what I have done. Excuse me. I messed something up a little bit. I can round it off, what I was trying to do. Okay, that's all right. I don't do perfect. And this one really looks good after you've added some shading to it. So let me show you that. So I'm going to go kind of start up here on this side, kind of heavy, right along the edge. You know, one nice thing about adding graphite like this is if I don't have it perfect right along the edge, it kind of takes that away, or hides it, I guess you could say. And then I'm just doing little circular motions and pulling that graphite in. And it starts to make it have kind of a rounded look to it. Highlights the center. And just soften that so that you don't have a harsh line on that graphite. Okay. I'm going to do basically the same thing up here, but I'm not going to put graphite where I have a lot of ink already down, because it will kind of take away from that. It makes it shiny when you have a black area like that and you put the graphite on. Just excuse me, doesn't look right. I think my allergies are getting to me today. I apologize. Everything is blooming in Texas right now. Okay, and I'm going to just soften that and bring it up a little bit into the flower, into the petals. And I will have to come back and clean that up a little bit where I didn't totally cover that with black. It always looks better when you add some shading. I didn't do that in the beginning. I was very intimidated by adding shading, but don't be. All right. So I'm sure we can make that look better, but there you are. There's two ways of doing the pattern. And I'll write that on the back. Zajo, C-A-J-O, and that is by Isabel. Wallis. Wallis. Okay, and the next pattern I'm going to show you was the one that I said is called Awhinging by Phylis Chen. And this is on a pattern that or a tile that I had previously colored. And this is kind of a practice for that pattern. And I really struggled with it. I struggled with getting this inner part to look right. And I did it on a couple of different tiles, but the other one kind of got messed up. But I decided for the tile that I'm doing today, I'm just going to show you how to do the petal part. So I think I'm going to switch, excuse me, to an 01. And I'm going to start by putting the center of my petal right here. Okay, so in about the center. And then I'm just going to start adding some petals. And I'm going to try to make them kind of fat and fit in with my border. And they're not going to be a consistent shape. We're just fitting them into this triangular space. Okay. And then I'm going to start adding hatching. It goes along these lines. And then I'm just going to thicken this here in the center. And you could put, okay, I'm going to put some tipple in here just to make it different. And then add more hatching if you want. And on this one, this was filled in, but I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to leave that for now. And then we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So about in the center. And you can make this, more centered here or a little more, like on this one was more squashed at the bottom. But it really doesn't matter. Let's put it here. Okay, and then start doing our petals. That one went over the border. That's okay. I like simple botanical type patterns like this. Okay. Now I'm going to start the hatching. And you can make this as dark around the center as you would like to add more drama on this side. I was watching a video by the Tireless Tangler. In fact, she was doing this pattern also. And I really admire people who do videos every day. I can't. Well, part of it's because of the perfectionist in me, but it takes a lot of time to edit the videos and make sure they're right and to practice and to find, for me to find the patterns that I want to do takes me time. And I do babysit my grandchildren and homeschool the oldest one, and it takes a lot. Okay, so now I'm just darkening the center of this one like I did on the other. And like I said, if you want to keep adding as much of the hatching down here along the sides as you want. And then on here you can see there's two different ways that you can do these petals. This, I believe, is how it is in the step out. And then I tried just doing that. I think I'm just going to darken, add a little bit of drama at the ends of each of these petals. And this gives me a chance to fix this since I went over the line. You won't see the border going through it. So I do finally have some flowers growing outside. Well, some of them we had to buy from the garden center, already flowering, but that's okay. The yard is looking good again. And we have a bee and butterfly garden where I'm hoping to get some flowers going soon in that. Okay, on this side, I'm going to try that one. So what we're going to do is just come in to a point, go back out. So this is kind of like a sampler tile. You get two samples of ways to do that one and two ways to do this one. Okay. Let's go ahead and put some tipple over here. I do have sunflowers growing in my garden. They're not blooming yet. They're getting big. But that's part of the bee and butterfly garden. All right, let's add some shading. I'm going to go kind of heavy around the center. I'm just trying to soften that so I don't have harsh lines around that shadow. Do the same thing on this one. And then I'm going to add a little bit of shading on each of these tips. And then soften that with my blending stump or tortillon. Again, I have not done this tile before. I just wanted to try it and show you these patterns and hope that you enjoy these and try them with your own variations. Like I said, I'm going to go in real quick and fix these a little better. Cool. All right. Let me know what you think. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe to my channel. Hit the like button. If you like this, if you have suggestions or questions, please let me know. We'll see you the next time.